Hey, hope you're doing well. My name is DJ, and over the years, I've tried every anime on myanimelist.net that's at least a 5 out of 10. So here are my favorites. Thank you for watching. Number 100, X-Men. The best Marvel anime collab. Not exactly a Chris Claremont classic, but they do compensate with big budget style and action. Number 99, Space Patrol Luluko, a bite sized action sci fi comedy directed by my favorite animation director, Hiroyuki Imaishi. Number 98, Tokyo Tribe 2, There Is No One, an action crime comedy about Japanese wannabe gangsters trying to move like black street gangs until they end up in trouble with the Yakuza, actual organized gangsters. Number 97, Gankutsuo, The Count of Monte Cristo, a sci fi revenge thriller, and the only classic literary adaptation on my list. They just pump so much anime nonsense in here while still respecting the source material. Number 96, Pet Shop of Horrors, a campy horror anthology like Creepshow or Tales from the Crypt with some recurring characters for consistency. Number 95, Madoka Magica, a magical girl show about a predatory cat putting little girls into 360 deals because they want to live their Sailor Moon fantasy. It raises the stakes and puts the magical girl genre, under a microscope. Number 94, Gal and Dino, a mixed media gag comedy about a Gyaru girl and her derpy dinosaur roommate. Number 93, Tonkatsu DJ Akutaro, another comedy that mixes black and Japanese culture, but this time it's about a chef that wants to be a DJ and how those two professions have crossover. Number 92, Amagi Brilliant Park, a comedy anime about Yeezus Arakaye when he was still a lovable narcissist saving a magical theme park. I am not joking. Number 91, Soul Eater, a dark fantasy shonen battle anime, and one of the first shonens that's I'd recommend since it clocks in at 51 episodes. Number 90, Video Girl AI, a sci fi rom com about a lonely loser boy and his waifu that comes to lifeu, but it actually does a decent job balancing both characters. It's not just some wish fulfillment nonsense. It's sweet. Girls can enjoy it too. Number 89, Aruchuban Ibichu, a sex comedy about a pet hamster, her owner, and the owner's scumbag boyfriend. The humans have sex, not the hamster. Don't call police. Number 88, Cyber City 080 808, a cyberpunk action show about a suicide squad, essentially. Convicts doing jobs to reduce sentences. And it's directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, the master of the video store era. Number 87, Mushishi, a slow paced supernatural adventure show about this transcendental species of animal and how they affect everyday life. Definitely a more atmospheric, slow paced, sophisticated show. Number 86, Blue Submarine Number 6, an interspecies sci fi war show with some of the best character designs in anime and some of the most dated CGI in anime, thrown in like Beast Wars, reboot era CG, and I love it. Number 85, Outlaw Star. The redheaded stepchild among the 90s space westerns at this point, but what makes it worth watching alongside Bebop and Trigun is that it just goes full camp. Number 84, Shigarui Death Frenzy, a brutal show that does not romanticize samurai at all. Like, it really captures how depraved Japanese history can get. Number 83, Fist of the North Star, a post apocalyptic power fantasy about Kenshiro, our badass hero on a quest to rescue his fiancee from the forces of evil. The plot is honestly secondary. You could just throw on any episode and have a blast watching Ken whooping ass in a myriad of insane ways. Number 82, Escaflowne, an isekai mecha action adventure romance kitchen sink everything goes anime. One of the most 90s anime you could watch with consistently some of the best hand-drawn sakuga. It never drops in quality across the whole run. I'm watching it like, Jesus Christ, will you just, it just never ends. Number 81, Trigun, a space western about a happy-go-lucky outlaw with a tortured, mysterious past. This goes hand in hand with Bebop, since Bebop is more space than western, and Trigun is more western than space. Number 80, Yu-Gi-Oh! A supernatural, sometimes death game anime where the whole world revolves around an Egyptian trading card game. I'm gonna come clean. This is my biggest nostalgia pick. I still love the physical game to this day, but the show is still worth watching because of how stylish and edgy it gets for a kid show. Number 79, Re Cutie Honey. Based on one of the first magical girls, Cutie Honey. This is a three-part Studio Gainax adaptation. I love Studio Gainax. It plays up the ecchi in a silly, goofy, fun way, and it's also kind of a director showcase. Hideaki Anno gets an episode, Imaishi gets an episode. Just some of the best anime directors having a blast. Number 78, Metabots, a super robot comedy anime about kids making sentient robots fight, kind of like Pokemon or Digimon, but with a more expressive personality and animation style that makes it watchable even at my grown age. Number 77, Slayers, a high fantasy action adventure comedy. The plot is pretty much just high fantasy hijinks, but it's that special type of fun that only 90s cartoons can tap into. The type that makes you feel all warm and colorful inside. Number 76, Higurashi, or When They Cry. It is a mystery horror anime about a village curse and one of the best first watches in anime. I love how they juxtapose the generic carefree 2000s anime art style with all the tension and conspiracy and gore. Hell yeah. 75, Big O, a mecha neo noir about Batman and his robot almost girlfriend living in a city plagued by amnesia. It blends the 1950s smoky film noir aesthetic with the Osamu Tezuka Golden Age aesthetic, almost like Metropolis. And it has one of the best first minutes in anime. It sets the whole tone of the show flawlessly. Number 74, Bo, an all gas, no brakes gag comedy that is never afraid to overwhelm you in its perpetual randomness. It will actually try to tire you out with its joke economy, like joke, 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 every damn second. Gintama took the swag and made it more palatable. Number 73, Scum's Wish, a romantic melodrama about how selfish and naive we could be while navigating puberty. What makes this anime singular, in my opinion, is the sensuality of it. No nosebleeds or bonks on the head needed. Number 72, Monster, a psychological thriller about a doctor and a little boy, and I don't really want to give more information than that. Number 71, Haruhi Suzumiya, a sci-fi comedy about the world actually revolving around one girl. So, of course, it was a hit with ladies. But they do make a male character the audience stand-in, so it can be like, damn, he just like me. I love how they approach the sci-fi here. People always say show, don't tell, but there can be a lot of power in telling too. Number 70, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, a transhumanist sci-fi anime that only really cares about being cool as hell, and it for sure succeeds. It's directed by Imaishi, and it's the first anime with a Latino dude as the main character. So, of course, I'm giving it extra points. Gracias. Number 69, Sailor Moon, the magical girl show. Super Sentai for the girls, but real man loves Sailor Moon too. The dub is so much funnier than I remembered, and the pastel background art is beautiful. Number 68, Gunbuster, a mecha anime about teenagers versus the Unstoppable March of Time. I mean giant space books. This is Anno's directorial debut, so it's no surprise how emotionally charged and existential this gets. Number 67, Future Diary, a death game romance anime where a select few compete to be the new god. It's some of the best trash you can watch. Number 66, Bleach, one of the big three shonen battle anime and the most deserving of a reboot. But I love how it embodies the 2000s hot topic edginess in a way that even predates Soul Eater. The school filler episodes are just as fun as the big arc stuff, too. Number 65, Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi. Technically an isekai anime about two kids traveling through different dimensions where each dimension is a new genre parody or homage. Number 64, Lucky Star, a slice of life comedy that's actually a slice of life comedy, not the Moe Blob cope show that it looks like, which is why it took me until actually last year to finally watch this, and I'm so glad I did. It's so good. Number 63, Space Cobra, a James Bond-esque sci-fi action adventure that blows my mind every time I watch it. It's directed by the GOAT Osamu Dezaki, and it's heavily inspired by French comics. The first episode feels like Dezaki channeling his inner Mobius for the entire run. It's something to marvel at. Number 62, Sergeant Frog, a comedy about alien frogs invading Earth just to hang out, almost like Invader Zim. If you grew up in the 2000s, you need to watch the dub. Half the jokes are just niche 2000s pop culture references. Like, the show references fucking Ruben Studdard. Do you remember Ruben Studdard? I almost Ruben Studdard. Ruben Studdard. Number 61, Katana Gatari, aka Sword Story, an action adventure romance anime about a guy and a girl collecting legendary swords from different wielders. It is a Nisio adaptation, the Monogatari guy, but there's no lolicon in this. That's right, we are not calling the feds. You get to enjoy the rich Eason dialogue in HBO length episode without anyone looking at you sideways. Let's go. Number 60, Flowers of Evil, a psychological drama about an unstable girl blackmailing a timid boy, mostly about his crush. This sparked a lot of controversy because of the rotoscope, which I love, especially Nakamura. The look really helped them capture the quintessential temperamental nerd girl from grade school. Number 59, finally another DVD, Eureka 7, a mecha anime, a mecha romance anime about a naive boy falling in love with a child soldier girl and their whole crew struggling to stay afloat. Not as consistent of a show as I remembered, but there's so much being done creatively here, especially with the characters. I love the character design so much. Number 58, Orin High School Host Club, a comedy reverse harem about a low class girl joining a rich private school gigolo club. It's a silly show with a lot of heart, and I love Haruhi's unwavering sense of self, even while undercover, and how it leads the boys down their own path of self reflection. Number 57, High Score Girl, a rom com about gamers, particularly how they use video games to navigate life for better or worse. The use of CG is really smart here. It brings consistency to all the different retro gaming art styles that are being intermingled in. Number 56, Hunter x Hunter, a shonen battle series and maybe the last true great one. It's about Gon, this young hunter, which is pretty much an adventurer, and his quest to find his padre. A million things happen in between, but that is the overarching goal. It gave Togashi the foundation to try anything he could think of, and it really pays off. Number 55, Windy Tales, an art house slice of life anime about airbending. Every episode feels like a poem. The poetry flows through you like air. The art style is fantastic. I'm obsessed with all the subtle facial expressions. You need to watch this. Number 54, The Daichis, a sci-fi action comedy about a crumbling nuclear family being tasked with defending Earth so they could hopefully escape poverty and stay together. It feels like Gynax meets The Incredibles, and it might be the most unknown on this list. Number 53, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, an action adventure power fantasy anime about generations of sexy people trying to cheat each other with their made up powers. It reminds me like when you were 6 years old playing pretend with another kid and you're like, I hit you with my fire blast. And they're like, no, because I just used my water bomb. And you're like, no, my fire blast just jumped over your water bomb and I killed you, so I win. Number 52, Kimono Zume, a supernatural Romeo and Juliet type romance anime with a monster girl and a samurai guy. This is Masaaki Yuasa's first series in his generational run of groundbreaking anime, and my favorite thing about this is how natural and alive the characters feel in such an abstract world. Some scenes feel so intimate, it makes me feel like a voyeur, like I have binoculars and I'm in a bush and I'm in my underwear and I should be arrested. Number 51, Revolutionary Girl Utena, a queer surrealist shoujo series about a girl trying to single-handedly dismantle the patriarchy at her school. I love the fairy tale stage play aesthetic and how it's used to critique the genre. The Shadow Puppet Girls really tie it all together. Number 50, Aim for the Ace, a psychedelic sports shoujo about a girl trying to be the best tennis player at her school. Dazaki's resourcefulness as a 1970s anime director is what blows my mind here. He does so much creatively within the limitations of the era. Number 49, Watamode, a straightforward cringe comedy about an otaku girl. If you're able to laugh at your adolescent weeb self, this is one of the funniest things ever. I love Watamode's weird ass so much. She's so funny. Number 48, Saint Seiya, a Greek mythology inspired shonen battle anime about warriors of Athena defending Earth. This has the strongest aesthetics of any battle show. All the colors, fights, and storylines are all trying to dazzle you with how over the top and exaggerated everything is. They don't try to keep a single toe in reality. It's all epic, poetic, mythological storytelling. Number 47, Future Boy Conan, an environmentalist action adventure from the one and only Hayao Miyazaki. Before even Castle of Cagliostro, this is what set the tone for all his films, touching on all his recurring themes, fixations, and animation quirks. Number 46, Afro Samurai, an action adventure story about a black samurai seeking revenge against George W. Bush, the best symbol of white America at the time, for killing Afro's people. Clearly another show combining black and Japanese culture. They even get RZA for the soundtrack, an OG of this niche genre. Also, you gotta watch the dub, Sam Jackson's Afro. Number 45, Kids on the Slope, a coming of age melodrama from my boy Shinichiro Watanabe about two high school jazz musicians and their beard girl. I love how Ritsuko has a jaw instead of the usual, heart-shaped anime face. Shout out to the strong jawed ladies. Number 44, Initial D, a sports anime about street racing. There's cool cars, cool characters, cool music. If you ever see some souped up JDM on the road, odds are there's an Initial D sticker or decal somewhere. This was also the best racing game back in my arcade days. Number 43, Vinland Saga, a historical drama about Vikings and one of the most well written shows I've ever seen. It would have fit right in with the prestige TV era. Like, actually, if HBO aired reruns of this right after House of the Dragon, your dad would never shut up about it. Number 42, Mob Psycho 100, a supernatural action comedy about a psychic prodigy and a fraudulent psychic helping each other navigate life. This is such a heartfelt show. It never feels schmaltzy either. Like, I really adore Mob and Regan's bond so much. Both of them in different stages of their lives, but still on the journeys of self acceptance. It's funny as hell, too. Number 41. We're cheating this time. We're going with Ai Yazawa adaptations. That is three anime: Nana, Paradise Kiss, and Neighborhood Story. Style icon Aizawa. Her works can vary tonally between shoujo and josei, but for the most part, we're getting young hot artists being messy because they're young hot artists. Like, even if you're not into melodrama, you'll love the aesthetics. She is very snazzy. Number 40, Shin-Chan, a crude slice of life comedy about a 5-year-old little freak. The show built character the same way South Park did, like how you probably shouldn't be watching this as a kid, at least with the dub, but that's exactly why it was so appealing at the time. It's still hilarious as an adult to never let go of your inner Shin. Number 39, Tatami Galaxy, a surrealist slice of life comedy about a college kid repeatedly trying to live the college life of his dreams. I went to community college, so this show makes it fun to entertain all those surface level what ifs while still being able to appreciate the nuggets of wisdom that apply to all walks of life. Number 38, Ergo Proxy, a dystopian sci-fi slow burn about an unlikely group of characters uncovering government conspiracy. I love how the show aligns itself with the dystopian aesthetics of the nonconformist presenting alt-rock bands of the 90s and the 2000s. It creates such a unique experience that sets itself apart from other philosophical sci-fi anime. Number 37, oh yeah, Great Pretender, a crime comedy about con artists a la Lupin III with some of the best use of color I've seen. This puts the F yeah attitude back in anime shows. Like, we got Great Pretender in 2020, Super Crooks 2021, Cyberpunk 2022, Scott Pilgrim 2023, and Don Da Don last year. There was a shift. I'm telling you, my theory has legs. Number 36, Ranma One Half, a Chinese influenced martial arts comedy about the gender bending Ranma and the martial artists next door, Akane Tendo. This is my favorite Rumiko Takahashi adaptation. It has the comedy of Urusei, the action of Inuyasha, and the romance of Meisan Ikoku. It's the most Rumiko. Number 35, Kill la Kill, an action comedy about a teenage girl trying to avenge her father in a fascist imperialist high school. Imaishi solidified Studio Trigger out the gate with this, and it's because no one gets the appeal of anime more than him. There's always a vitality to his characters, and the way he directs movement, it all just feeds back into itself. Number 34, Ping Pong, a sports drama about tennis of the table variety. Yuasa came through again, doing what most of my favorite sports movies do, exploring aspects of the human condition, characters competing with themselves to find their place in the world. Ping Pong was my saving grace when I couldn't get into the 2010s production IG sports formula. Number 33, Devilman Crybaby, a supernatural horror anime from Yuasa. What can't the man do? Miss, including giving us a fresh take on a classic from Go Nagai, the other godfather of manga. If you've ever asked yourself why anime can be so weird or depraved, Go Nagai plays a big part, and Yuasa is able to capture all of that on screen. Number 32, Kare Kano, aka His and Her Circumstances. This is a high school rom-com directed by Hideaki Anno about two overachievers that are perfect on the surface but deeply flawed at their core. Anno is such a good writer-director when it comes to interpersonal relationships. There were times where I felt my heart grow 3 sizes, and all Yukino or Arima did was say the other's name. That's it. And I'm like, wow, this is touching my entire being. The show is so tender, it puts other romance anime to shame. Number 31, Shiki, a bleak horror anime about vampires taking over a small town. The director has complete control over the mood and atmosphere here, and it's done with a cast of mostly unlikable characters. Really impressive stuff. Number 30, Attack on Titan, an action mystery survival anime about humanity trying to survive giant humanoid monsters. Attack on Titan takes this deceptively simple premise and turns the plot on its head over and over again to keep you hooked until the very end. It makes complete sense why this was the one that finally brought anime into mainstream American culture. Number 29, Genshiken, a 2000 slice of life comedy about a college otaku club. It's by nerds, for nerds, celebrating nerds. It feels like a time capsule of when nerd culture was still subculture. It's such an accurate depiction, too. There's so many specific archetypes that you'll recognize if you grew up in nerd circles. You know, the mangaka drew so much from his own experience. Number 28, the Dragon Ball franchise, specifically Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball is still one of the most charming adventure anime. It's so easy to fall in love with Toriyama's world building throughout this series. Then you add Kid Goku's wide-eyed lust for life, and you get a real palpable sense of adventure. Uh, DBZ, on the other hand, took Battle Shonen to the next level. It pushed the 80s power fantasy into the 90s attitude era. The best thing about DBZ, though, is easily the villain roster. It's Batman level. Number 27, Serial Experiments Lane, an existential sci-fi mystery about how the digital world affects the physical world and vice versa. How those lines blur and feed back into each other. It's a dense show that you'll need to watch more than once, but it's rewarding watch every time, and it's a masterclass in style. Number 26, Ninja Slayer, an over-the-top action comedy that parodies what Americans thought Japanimation was back in the day. This is a godsend for all the Adult Swim heads out there. If you were the type to not retreat to Disney Channel when Aqua Teen or Squidbillies came on, then this is made for you. If you remember Perfect Hair Forever, this was made for you. Number 25, Terror in Resonance, a mystery thriller about child super soldiers turned anarchists. They're trying to destroy all the structures that facilitated these child super soldier experiments, cause a shift in the collective consciousness, break the world shell, etc. Watanabe is owning the director's chair in this one. There's at least two sequences here that are seared into my brain forever. And the score, the character dynamics, no one can write a trio like Watanabe. Number 24, Welcome to the NHK, a psychological dramedy about a hikikomori or shut-in and what self-isolation can do to your mind and how it can happen to anyone. Which is why this show is so painfully relatable to most people that watch it, myself included. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll reflect, you'll almost throw your laptop out the window. That's good art. Number 23, Tenchi Muyo. Tenchi Muyo, a sci-fi comedy about an adorable boy and a bunch of alien girls that shack up with his formerly all-male household. When rewatching Tenchi, I thought nostalgia would carry it since it's like the 90s harem anime, but it's not even a harem. There's a love triangle, but it's mostly a full house of weirdos getting into random misadventures. It's one of the best hangout anime, and I only recommend the OG cast stuff. The later adaptations do turn into harem garbage. Number 22, Black Lagoon, man. A ball to the wall action comedy for the Tarantino nerds, and one of the few anime I desperately need more of. It's about a ragtag group of misfits taking odd jobs and trying to shake their past, sort of bebop esque. but replace sci-fi with pure crime and corruption. My favorite character, besides Revi and Balalaika, is actually the setting. They build Rowanapur as one of the most dangerous places on Earth, but you still would die to live a shady life there. Number 21, Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist, a action adventure show about two teenage brothers searching for an all-powerful stone to restore their damaged selves. My favorite thing about FMA is actually how well both adaptations contrast. The original is, more patient, atmospheric, really lets the characters play and feel, while Brotherhood is a lean machine that buffs out all the flaws and some of the magic to create a more epic story. They're both equally worth the watch, in my opinion. My light died, but the show goes on. Number 20, Dead Demons Destruction, the newest anime on this list, a sci-fi coming of age political satire directed by Tomoyuki Kurokawa about society's reaction to alien contact and what it means to grow up during a time of both inward and, outward uncertainty. It's breathtaking how cinematic this show is. The director knows exactly how to create a compelling image, and I've never seen an anime series play with perspective or aspect ratio like this. There's so many so many great creative choices. Keeping that in. Number 19, Penguin Drum, an art house supernatural mystery show all about love. There's other themes, but I've never seen love dissected like this on screen. It's Kunihiko Ikuhara's opus, and he loves himself some David Lynch on this one too. This also has one of my favorite shots ever. It's of this girl Hamari, this bubbly cinnamon roll type of girl, seeing her old friends on TV, and she just has like this glazed over look. It kills me. Oh my. Number 18. It's the little hidden gem I don't think you know about. It's called Naruto. It's a shoujo romance isekai holocaust music. You know Naruto, bro. I was in middle school back when Naruto became the biggest anime since DBZ. It was the second impact to Attack on Titan's third. Truth be told, I'm not crazy about Shippuden. Even with the filler guy, they pad the hell out of it, but that first 135 of OG Naruto, generational. It's the type of show that made you friends. Like, oh, your favorite's Rock Lee? We're brothers on Facebook now. Look at that. Mold. Number 17, Paranoia Agent, a psychological thriller about a kid that hits people with the baseball bat. That's all. It's the only series brought to you by anime's greatest surrealist, Satoshi Kon, and it doesn't drop in quality at all from the movies. I remember watching this in my late teens, like, wait, you could do this in a series? Rewind back further, and this absolutely disturbed me when I'd catch it on Adult Swim as a little fat kid. The atmosphere, the way the faces are drawn, the way we think and act, that was too much for me to grasp as a kid. Number 16, Beck, aka Mongolian Chop Squad, a coming of age drama about kids trying to be rock stars. The rock music is right up my alley with all the grunge and alt rock. They even wash out the color palette of the show to match the sound with all, that delicious reverb. It's really motivating too, even as an adult, seeing these cool characters discover what they want to do with their lives and, pursuing that dream at all costs. Really living it up, living life. Number 15, Gundam franchise, the Mecha franchise. Uh, my favorites being the original, an epic sci-fi war story. 8th MS Team, a lower stakes Vietnam inspired war story. G Gundam, where they go full super robot, and Wing, where they go full edgy teen melodrama. If you think Gundam isn't for you, then you just haven't watched the right one yet. And when you do, it will open you up to more. Number 14, Michiko and Hachin. An action adventure show about a mother and daughter looking for the dad in South America while his ops are pretty much doing the exact same thing. It's Sayo Yamamoto's directorial debut, and I don't have feelings for her. Why would you ask that? It has similar vibes to a Watanabe show since she was his protege, so there's a lot of cultural appreciation going on here. So many beautiful Brazilian faces. Shout out to my Latinos once again. You feel me? Caliente. I'm not keeping that part. I might. Number 13, Kaiba, an art house sci-fi adventure about a kid searching for his lost memories, which is a mountain-sized oversimplification, but I'd have to rewatch this twice in a row before I even attempt to discuss this Tezuka-inspired acid trip. It's Yuasa, again, the most creative anime director maybe ever, working at peak creativity. It's one of a kind show that the godfather of manga would be proud of. Number 12, Lupin the Third franchise, an action adventure crime comedy about a group of thieves stealing just for the love of the game most of the time. It's a massive franchise that wears many hats and one of the most influential. What I love most is how it takes inspiration from all over the globe for both the characters and the capers. Like, you really go around the world with the gang. True adventure. Number 11, Die Buster, the follow up to Gun Buster, from Hideaki Anno's right hand man and the industry's best kept secret, Kazuya Tsurumaki. Very few directors can reach the heights Tsurumaki does in such a short amount of time. It's like he channels the emotional impact of Anno and the over the top thrill of Imaishi and breaks them down to their essentials. My jaw is on the floor for the entire second half of this show every single time. Okay, we are finally at the top 10. We will start this off. Number 10, Steins Gate, a mystery sci-fi anime about a lovable mad scientist and his team discovering time travel via microwave, thus turning their lives upside down. It's an emotional roller coaster of a show, and it's actually what got me back into anime after high school. I had, one of those classic anime binges where you skip sleep to finish it in the wee hours of the morning. Giving you that sweet, sweet void in your stomach. Number 9, Space Dandy, a sci-fi adventure comedy about a dandy guy in space. He combs the galaxy like his pompadour on the hunt for aliens, and it's the most watchable anime ever to me. Created by Watanabe, it's like if Bebop went full sci-fi Lupin. Like, what makes this show so watchable is how there's a new crew of creators making this every episode, just doing whatever they want. There's so much talent and imagination here, and just fun being had. You could feel it. It's infectious. Like, just please show Space Dandy to that one friend that only likes American cartoons and just cut them off if they don't like it. You don't need that negative energy in your life. Trust me, I'll be your new friend. Number 8, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, a cyberpunk action thriller about a special ops group handling both episodic and overarching cases. This was another one like Paranoia Agent, where I was way too young to appreciate as a child, but the OP, the OP was still the coolest thing I've ever seen and heard. I'd be like, man, why can't this whole show be like that? What's all this politics and techno babble? This show is so confident in its presentation, the world building, how it depicts violence and corruption, how most of the levity comes from characters reacting naturally to this unnatural world, the sci-fi sex appeal. Kamiyama was never this good again. Number 7, an anime for the real, Gurren Lagann, a super robot adrenaline rush about pushing forward at all costs, no matter what. Just keep going, stay resilient, and you will be the master of your universe. Obviously an optimistic show. It is ugh, it is Imaishi's reaction to the Evangelion aftermath. He was like, "Bro, stop all that damn whining. You're in a giant robot. Chicks dig giant robots. What's the problem? Go beat up some monster guys. Eat the monster guys. Dethrone God. The world is your oyster." It's Imaishi's best. Number 6, Berserk 97, a medieval dark fantasy epic that doesn't even cover the entire first arc of the manga, but still manages to be one of the greatest anime ever. It's the only anime series I've ever seen that can depict the weight of being a soldier in a war that feels true. The world isn't inviting like Game of Thrones or Star Wars or even Gundam. It's just gruesome. It's Griffith has to be one of the greatest characters in fiction. And Casca, God damn it. All three of them break my heart, man. Top 5, baby. Number 5, Yu Yu Hakusho. My lifelong favorite battle shonen about a 14-year-old delinquent that loses his life and ends up working for the ruler of the spirit world. This was the one that really locked me into anime when it aired on Adult Swim even before Toonami. The depth of these characters spoke to me in a way that Saturday morning anime could never. It's what leads to so many evocative moments. Yusuke's funeral, when he hits the spirit gun for Genkai, almost every interaction with Keiko and Yusuke, man, you feel so much of what they feel. And of course, I have to mention music because that first ending song, that's feeling. We all love Smile Bomb, but the homework doesn't end gives me like memento mori, like clarity. Like, I gotta live. I have to live. Number 4, Cowboy Bebop, a jazzy space western about a ragtag group of bounty hunters trying to get by. I feel like Watanabe's deep love and knowledge of various art forms shines through most in Bebop, with all the different music genres and film references used. It's a really cultured show art wise. What speaks to me most though is how melancholy Bebop is. Like, how your past can blind your present if you don't know how to deal with it. It makes me savor the random bounty adventures just as much as the plot heavy episodes. And you're gonna carry that weight. Only gets heavier as time goes on, let me tell you. Just, man. Number 3, Neon Genesis Evangelion appreciates my Ava bootleg. It is a deeply existential, trauma fueled mecha anime about deeply insecure teenagers forced to save the world again and again. The Monster of the Week framework and shadow government shenanigans, unraveling the characters over time, breaking them down to their most desperate, vulnerable, contradictory selves. The dense world ending plot playing second fiddle to the characters, making their emotions feel larger than life, like you're swimming in them. Ano puts his unfiltered self into this show, and it's inspiring. Number 2, Samurai Champloo, a hip hop loving action adventure directed by my lord and savior, if you couldn't tell by now, Shinichiro Watanabe. It's about two samurai who reluctantly help an orphan girl find a samurai who smells of sunflowers. Uh, like Bebop, there's similar themes of time and emotional baggage, but we have a clear goal in mind this go round. The team is a lot more proactive, facing their problems head on while similarly getting into all kinds of trouble along the way. By the end of the show, when the goal is in sight, though, it's really hard for them because they know they'll need to part ways. This journey being an extension of their past, but nothing lasts forever. You need to move on, and you need to keep living. Uh, the end is so bittersweet too. It makes me cry every time now. This trio is so near and dear to my heart. Same with the soundtrack. Champloo's whole concept comes from sampling in hip hop music, chopping up old records to make new beats, remixing the samurai genre with the newest music genre. Nujabes and Fat John's beats were actually my first time listening to beats without raps on top of them. This was long before chill study beats, so they really opened up my world to these, moody, evocative loops way back when. It's hard for me to imagine life without Shampoo. Honorable mentions, honorable mentions. I decided to include Boondocks and Scott Pilgrim Takes Off here because of, the never ending what even is anime debate. But say if I could include them, then Boondocks would be in the top 10 easily. And I'd say Scott Pilgrim would be around like, 50 to 75. And now, and now, my favorite anime of all time, the one that has never been dethroned since I first watched it 20 years ago. The number one spot goes to Fully Cooley. Fully Cooley. An anti coming of age sci fi comedy about a preteen boy and teenage girl whose lives are thrown upside down by an alien woman trying to free a supreme being from an evil corporation. I've noticed that most people that are in love with this show have the same first experience with it, myself included. They watched it when they were young, understood nothing about what happened, but they felt like Fooly Cooley understood them. This is the power of surrealism. Through all the seemingly nonsensical imagery, hyperactive pacing, convoluted plot, and emotional story beats, this show aims to communicate all the indescribable, conflicting emotions of your most developmental years. Uh, this show does touch on more themes. It's about as dense as Ava, but Fully Cooley is just one of those shows where you could decide how deep you want to go with it. What's below the surface will keep you coming back, but many people love this show simply because of how damn coolly it is. Fully Cooley came to be during the transition from cell to digital animation. So Suramaki, Imaishi, and Ano, and the rest of Gainax wanted to push digital to its limits, doing the wildest things they could think of, just trying to, put in those hours to master it. The style and direction of the show, in turn, became, so inventive that it went on to influence many Western properties that I love. Teen Titans, Avatar, Boondocks, Scott Pilgrim. Besides, Gorillas, it single-handedly informed my taste in rock music. Thank you, The Pillows. And it's the only piece of art that truly feels like a miracle to me. Fully Cooley is my favorite piece of art ever.